Alright, I know you've been clamouring for us to get back to it, so let's get back to it. Alright, when we left off, we'd just got all of the electronics nicely nestled and fastened inside of the nacelles, which means that all that remains to be done is adding in the clear parts and then sealing the whole thing up. There are a couple of steps to this process, the first of which is to prepare our clear parts. Because these clear parts are transparent, they're going to show all of the LEDs inside the nacelles, including the hot spots and, the actual LEDs themselves. So what we want to do is we want to add some diffusion to these. There are several ways to do this. Some people like to use a diffusing spray-on stuff. I was thinking about using some diffusing paper. Some people just use masking tape. Myself, I'm going to try using some wet and dry to sand the inside faces of the see-through parts and see what sort of effect that gives us on the diffusion. If I decide it's still not enough, I could always cut a white straw in half and just put that over the top of the LEDs. To start the process off, I've got some medium grit wet and dry, which I'll just cut some strips off the main piece. A little dab of water, so I like to do it wet. And I've secured one of the buzzard pieces in some blue tack to hold it nice and secure. Don't want to get the wet and dry too wet, but I'll just dab the forward half of it in, shake off the excess, and because this is quite a small piece, I'm just going to fold the front not tightly in half, but loosely, so that it's got a bit of a bow to it. And then I'll just take that back and forth, until I'm happy with the result. Alright, so I've finished roughing up the piece with the medium wet and dry. Here I've got the same red LED tape turned on. This is the undiffused one. As you can see, it shines through without difficulty. You can see the LED behind it. And here is the diffused one. As you can see, it lights up the entire piece. And admittedly it's not so easy to see on the camera, but hotspot is kept to a minimum. I'll probably work on it some more with the medium, and then once I'm happy with the level of diffusion, we skip to the higher grades to finish it off. Alright, we're back at the desk. I wasn't particularly happy how the sanding was going. It was getting diffuse, but it wasn't really strong enough. Now, there are a couple more things that I said we could try. For example, the plastic straws. Just go to any fast food restaurant that has white plastic straws and just grab one and walk out. Don't have to buy anything. But I opted to go for a spray solution. This is Frosted Glass Effect Spray. Comes in a can. You spray it right on the piece. There should be a video overlay of me spraying these pieces. And when it comes out, it's a pretty nicely diffused piece of plastic. Alright, hopefully you remember where we left off with the nacelles. If I go ahead and plug this in, negative and positive. There we are, still lights up nicely. And I'll take my diffuse piece of grill. Just going to slot that over the top, just so you can see the effect. And from the side, I know the camera doesn't represent blue very well, but bear with it. As you can see, comes out pretty well. There is a bit of a light darkness to it, though I think it's more visible on the camera than it is actually in reality. And similarly, if I grab one of the buzzard pieces, the buzzard looks pretty good with that diffuse. Again, bit of a hot spot that shows it more on the camera than in real life. If we wanted to even out that diffusion some more, then we could take the drinking straw. This one isn't quite cut to the right length, I'll just... Is that it? Yeah. Trim that down a smidge more. We can just take the straw, cut it down to length, pop that over the top of the LEDs, which would then stick on with some PVA or other such non-solvent adhesive. and then put the grill on top of that, which does even up the light a little bit, but it creates, because the extra layer of diffusion darkens the LEDs some more. I am of the opinion that the dark spots are far more prominent with the straw in, so I'm just going to get rid of the straw and just go ahead with the mounted grill, because as I say, the hot spots are more evident on camera than they are in reality, and usually only when you're looking directly at it. The Buzzard will probably be a more hot spotty one, as there's only the single LED there. If we wanted to eliminate the hot spots entirely, then what we'd want to do is mount the LED tape onto the top or bottom surface of the nacelle and only have the reflection of the light coming out the front, which could look something like that if done right. That'll do it for this video though. In the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the nacelle pieces with a pre-layer of paint, just so that when we put the Buzzard and grills in, we don't have to worry about painting behind them, because once they're stuck in, the grey needs to be all around it or it's going to look a bit weird. But until then, I'm Raven, and that's all from the lair.